Okie dokie. Well, it's a giant. Okie doke. Again, hopefully an early start today. It is today is New Year's Eve. We have plans back in Boston for dinner, so not that much time on the bus. But I'm hoping I can start looking at fitting up those back panels and maybe even attach them today. Ooh. Try to get something actually done. It is a balmy 36 degrees out, which is slightly lower than we're supposed to use the sika flex. We'll probably still try it. I'm also going to back that up with some beetle tape, I think. You know, belt and suspenders. But for now, going to try to get this thing started up. No, not started up. We did that yesterday. I'm going to try to get this thing opened up and actually try to get some work done. Here we go.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right.
Suddenly this wants to fight me a little bit more than it used to. It's a weird little wrinkle cut up here. That's fascinating. A little bit of work needs to happen in here. That's curved away. Okay. I don't like how far that's pulling down.
Hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side, through and through. No limit to what we can do.
Alright, well, that's a start though. It doesn't actually matter what it looks like from this side, it's the other side that counts. That's not to say that it looks good from the other side right now. Yeah, that's great. Alright, time to work from the other side. So this is actually the first time I've gotten to take a chance to look at this thing from the outside. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Of course I shouldn't, because it's not in place yet. Everything's a hammer if you use it wrong enough. Well, it doesn't look great, but it's there. I'll have to cap these up. So I'll have to cap these up after the fact. And then I'll also have to figure out this. This is my current concern, right here. I don't know if this panel is wrong or not. I might have to remake this panel, but I want to see if I can salvage it first, because making these panels is a pain in the ass. Let's go check that side, see if we can make at least 3 of these things look good. That side doesn't look far off. These 3 panels aren't terrible. They're not amazing, but they're not terrible. That panel's a pain in the ass. And it's quite a bow over there. I am torn right now. There's a little bit of a bow, you can see it, on that center line. I'm torn right now between putting a stiffener in there or not. And I'm thinking that stiffener may be a good choice. So we can get some of the water out of here. I think I might have to make that back panel, that passenger side panel over again. Bummer. And I think I might need to put the stiffener in, at least in the middle. This is staying together nicely. That one's kind of, well, actually it's staying together, but I think it's going to bow to it. And I think that once I fasten these panels together, taking that bow out, it's not going to get any easier. Maybe it won't matter. I don't know. Okay, so the fit on the back cap isn't perfect. It's not exactly what I wanted, especially on the passenger side. But I think I need to move forward, even if I end up having to pull it back out and redo part of it later. In preparation for that, I'm drinking lots of coffee. And I did just do a quick and dirty sand in the part where the cap's going to sit. And I primed that just because once I put the cap back in there, I can't prime it anymore. And I also primed the edges that are going to face on the caps. So none of that's like cosmetic spray painting. That is strictly some type of barrier between it and water. Mercifully, even though it's only a little bit above 40 degrees right now, the spray paint seems to be flashing off fine. So I'm going to give it 10 minutes, check in on my wife. Because why not, you know. Occasionally nice to say hi. And we're going to hopefully and then we're going to look at actually maybe putting at least the center portions up, which is a little bit nerve-wracking for me. I might end up putting no, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to try to put the center portions up. I thought I actually had to put the side portions up first, but I need to set something in stone and then adjust from there. And the center portion seems to make the most sense for setting a point. It may come back to bite me a little bit on the sides, on the driver's and passenger side portions of the cap, but you know, if it does, so be it. Let's go see what Sue's up to. Hey, sweetie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's good. I'm making reflective confetti. See?
Yay.
It's not reflecting now, but at night, in headlights, it will light up like glorious fireflies in the ground.
Yeah. You get all the best jobs, sweetie.
I know, I really do. Everything that involves removing sticky things. I am the sticky thing removal expert. I guess. At least I get a seat for this one. So
That's true. You do get a seat.
So I'm good.
It's not as cold as it might be.
No, I didn't even have to wear my heavy-duty gear that I received for Christmas
Ooh.
to keep me warm when we work in the cold weather. I'm sure it will come, though.
It'll come.
It'll come.
Oh, yeah, I got some Carhartt gear for my birthday because it gets cold out here. All right. Well, I'm going to pause for a couple seconds, drink a little more coffee, and then I might actually put a screw in.
Oh boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a portrait of a man trying to figure crap out as he moves along. I have broken the little tack welds we put on this thing because I need to adhere these two panels together. I think I want to get the two center panels together and in before I go much further because I am concerned about keeping the bus symmetric-ish back and forth. So to seal the panels, I'm going to put some Sikaflex down in the middle of this one. I'm not going to do any butyl on this panel because it's not that much of an overlap and it's going to be mostly on the outside. Doesn't really have a full penetration. No, it has a penetration, but I'm just going to do Sikaflex on this one. It is my understanding that Sikaflex is miraculously messy to work with and that one is best served by taping off the adjacent area in order that one might remove this tape before the Sikaflex is completely dry and thereby not spend the rest of their lives trying to remove the not quite dry Sikaflex or trying to remove the dried Sikaflex. That's this side. The other side I don't know that I care much about because it's never going to get seen. So we have this. We have a couple of screw holes. Or a couple of holes. I'm probably going to put screws in for now. If I need to, I can go back, remove the screws, drill it wider, and stick in rivets. I'm going to try with the screws first for the seam. I guess it's time to actually bust out a thing of Sikaflex. I've also been told that Sikaflex is super fun to get out of the tube, so I bought this little thing. And the tube is inside. Okay. So it isn't quite as cold, so I'm going to go grab that. Okie dokie, folks. This doesn't have a little clipper on it. Interesting. It does have a pokey bit, though. All hell the pokey bit. Remember, not a how-to channel. Okay. Do tell me this isn't messing up. Okay. That's fast. Oh, that's gonna come up fast. Crank the speed down way low. Alright. Out come our friends the Clecos. You probably need a better view. So let's see if you can actually see what's going on here. Rumph. Oops. This really will go slow. I have no idea how much I'm really supposed to be using here. This may be way too much. May not be enough. Probably should have watched the video on this first. Sometimes you gotta just do it. Okay. You know, one of the fun things I like about this particular caulk gun is that the minute you let go, it stops putting any forward pressure. So on a regular, like, triggered caulk gun, it keeps pushing and a bunch comes out the end. That's pretty much all that's going to come out of the end of this thing right now. Just wipe it off and we're done. Alright, so well, that's a bad place for that. In the interest of getting this kind of lined up, I'm going to throw a couple of these Clecos back in. Probably going to pick up some more Clecos of a different size. Ooh, that does not want to fit through there anymore. Not a shocker really, but not really surprising, but you know, I should probably have thrown gloves on too. I have gloves. This is going to be dumb. I don't want to spend the rest of my life cleaning my hands. Probably already done a lot of damage on this, but we don't need to make it any worse. I am supposed to go out to a moderately fancy dinner tonight, not super fancy. Okay. Next up. I should definitely have drilled all these holes in advance, and I did not, which was not the smartest thing I have ever done. Oh boy. You know that I maybe should have drilled these holes first. I definitely should have drilled these holes first. Learning stuff left, right, and sideways. Yeah, that one looks clean. Start in the middle. Ish. There's that squeeze that everyone talked about. Anyone wondering why I'm inspecting and then discarding some of these screws? They're the ones we took out of the bus. Got about 1 billion of them. Well, a few of them have gotten a little rusty over the years. So I don't want to put those back in. Okay. Okay, let's see what I'm looking at. So on this side, got all the screws poking through like we expected. They all have a bit of adhesive on the tip, which is nice. I wonder if I should have been dabbing it in as I went. I maybe should have. Come on, tilt up, you. Always fighting me. Probably should have been dabbing that in as I went. I also think that while this is tacking up, I might throw a clamp on this top edge here, maybe in the bottom, just to keep them together. Or maybe I'll just go smash it into the bus and see about that. We'll see. Alright, I suspect that very shortly I am not going to have enough free hands to do much recording anymore. I'll start with this bit. Some butyl. I do not know that this is entirely necessary. I do not know that this is even advised. But it's what I'm going to try. What I'm going to do is just stick it along this edge, kind of the inner edge of the panel. We'll see how useful this even ends up being. Will do, dear. Then I'm going to put my sika flex on the outside edge of this panel. I think we'll do more of the caulking. And I mean, honestly, I will probably end up, this part I'll probably end up bondoing over anyways, so doing 3 layers of defense here, I guess. I don't know that this is entirely necessary. I don't think it'll hurt me any though. Well, beyond the fact that I might be wasting some butyl. I'm going to leave that covering on for a second while I spin this around, hopefully without scratching the heck out of the top of the bus. See little dabs of sika flex starting to show up everywhere. This stuff really is insidious. So on this side, this is the inner edge. When we took the roof, the remaining roof bits off of the back cap, the factory back cap, there was a butyl-like substance there, which makes me think this probably isn't a terrible idea. But again, I have no idea this is actually a good idea. I'm going to need to buy some more butyl tape. Next I need the Sikaflex. I think I'm going to expose the butyl before I do this, so I don't drag this paper through the Sikaflex, which seems like a poor choice. We're doing a nice fat bead here. Might need to up the speed on this a little bit. Oh, that's too fat of a bead. That wasn't ideal. Okay, turn her around again. Turn the cap around. I'm definitely getting that part out. All right. And the second verse is the same as the first. And now is the time when I think I'm about to make an incredible mess. Honestly, I will probably end up stopping recording partway through this because I'm not going to have enough hands.
Want me to come have hands?
In a second, yeah. That's in the wrong place. Shoot! I done screwed up and I made a mess. Alright. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to go up top and see if I can actually drill some holes and start to fasten this thing in place, and then try to get the bottom in place all in the next 40 minutes. So, I now have an entirely new criteria for the phrase ungodly, unholy mess. And that criteria is a popped open bottle of Sikaflex, tube of Sikaflex. Had one pop. I'll be honest, Sikaflex in and of itself is messy, but this is now my criteria for an unholy mess. That said, I did get it into the interstitial space between 3/4 of this back cap and the bus. So I got 3 panels in. I sort of did these 2 panels at the same time. I joined them together. I don't know if I showed that. And then I just worked this cap in. This was a horrible mistake. Or at least the way I went about doing it was a horrible mistake. I had wanted to have this cap be on the inside of this, but I wanted to get this in place before this. So I tried that. It kind of worked. You could sort of slide it in and then kind of jam it in. The problem is that I put the Sikaflex and the butyl on the outside edge here. The outside edge here before I tried putting it in place, which meant that there was no place to hold it that wasn't disgusting. Also, adding to my definition of unholy mess. But let's take a quick look from the outside, and then I'll wrap this up. So like I said, we got that in there. Let's see if you can start to see it. So over my shoulder, you can see the bus. You can see the 3 panels I got in. The one panel I have left to do is behind my head. They obviously aren't perfect yet. I think they look fine. The whole bus is a little bit tilted, so I think a little bit of tilt is right on that seam. The seam is about in the middle. I think that they're going to look fine once they're all painted. And I have to Bondo in that seam a little bit. I'm going to have to feather in another seam. I'll show you now. So there's still some work left to do, because there always is. Right here, I need to figure this out. I think I'm going to take, this is the butyl that didn't stick. I also put it in more places than I should have. I'm probably going to cut this in here somewhere. I'm going to find out where it intersects with the side paneling kind of nicely and figure that part out. Don't really have a plan yet. Also, this seam right here, if you can see it, looks pretty awful. I kind of knew it would. I'm going to Bondo it into the roof. You know, I started with a back cap, partly because I had to, but also because it made the most sense, because it's going to be seen the least. Very few people will have their head 10 feet very few people will have their head at the above 9 feet, let's say, behind the bus. Just doesn't happen a lot. So as long as it holds water, this one's okay. The front seam, again, you can't see it. The front seam has to look better. I'm also going to be Bondoing the crap out of the top seam here. I always knew I would. I may come back and do another layer of sika flex into some of the bigger spaces. From the back, I'll probably pack it with butyl. And again, the Bondo will help to seal all that up too. Just trying to do layers of protection against water infiltration. Of course, when I'm all said and done, I'm going to spray foam in there too. So lots of layers, but still trying to do the least bad job I can. I'm going to pack up the stuff, and then I'm going to pack up the family stuff. Then I'm going to pack up I'm going to close up the bus and park it again, and I have most of my tools away already. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. I don't know if I'm going to make it back up here on Sunday. Today's New Year's Eve. We're going to go have dinner. I don't know if I'm going to make it back up here on New Year's Eve. On Sunday, I might. And if so, I'll add that into the rest of this video. If not, have a great week. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, any good limericks, throw them down the comments below. And I guess thanks for watching. Yeah, be well.
We're doing this at winter, so I'm getting cold doing this. I might get cold. If I get colder, I might not like it. So let's hope I don't get too cold.